Hello everybody, welcome back to my channel. I am Gebo the Shaman, and today we're talking about what happens when we have Ketu placed in the 5th house in your birth chart. So, before we get into all that good stuff, I'd just like to let you guys know that I am a Vedic astrologer. I do Vedic astrology readings professionally, so you can check out all my courses, all my products, services, astrology readings, all kinds of stuff that I have to offer over here. And if you're interested in any of that stuff, then you can go to gebotheshaman.com. I do have my astrology certification course, as well as astrology readings that I do, birth time rectification, etc. Bunch of things that I do. So, alright, so let's get into Ketu in the 5th house. So, what is Ketu in the 5th house? Ketu in the 5th house, well, in order to understand Ketu, or understand this placement, this position, we need to understand what Ketu means, and then we'll talk about what the 5th house means. We'll put them together and create our own analysis from that. So, what is Ketu? Ketu is a planet of dissatisfaction and it's kind of like that been there done that kind of planet. So in order to understand Ketu, we need to understand what Rahu and Ketu mean. So Rahu is the planet, is the head of the Asura, and he wants to go into the material world. He wants to enjoy and indulge and get his, fulfillment from the material world. Whereas Ketu says, yeah, I've been there, I've done that, it's not fun, it's not satisfying, so I'm just going to head in the other direction. So, Ketu wants to, Ketu wants to take us out of the material world, and he wants to take us into the spiritual world. So this is Rahu and Ketu. So Ketu is kind of like that, the expert who's just no longer interested in it. For example, if you have someone who has mastered a technical trade or something like that and they've been doing that their entire life, like welding or a mechanic or something like that, and then you talk to them when they're 60 years old and want them to work on your car or do a welding job for you, and they're just like, no, I've been there, I've done that, I don't want to do it anymore. So this kind of gives you an expertise. So your Ketu placement is what you've mastered in a previous life, in a past life. So it's Ketu is all about meditation. It's all about wanting to get away from the material world and going into the spiritual world. And so it's all about that stuff. So then we have the 5th house. So what is the 5th house? The 5th house is your children, the house of your children, the house of your learning. This is your schooling, your education. 5th house is the house of your creative expression. So your creativity and your freedom of expression and things like that. So the 5th house is like the house of fun, playfulness, romance, making children, the process of making children, things like that. So yeah, then we have Ketu here, and Ketu in the 5th house just kind of says, yeah, I kind of like someone with this placement would be like, would not want to have children. They'd be like, yeah, I've been there, I've done that, and I'm done with it. So this gives you a lack of wanting children, and because you're like, it's almost like that parent who has had like 10 children already, and they're like old, and all their children are grown up, and it's like, you want to have another kid? No, because they've been there, they've done that. It's like it's almost like you can't force somebody to like what they already have experienced for years. Like, it's like at a certain point you need novelty, you need something new, something different, something to change it up. So Rahu, or sorry, Ketu, is that sign that you need to like change things up and go in a different direction. So this gives you a lack of not wanting children, or like a lack of that, like basically you don't want children with this position. Ketu in the 5th house. 5th house also represents government. It's like royalty, things like that. So this is also like, that position that like, it's kind of like you don't want anything to do with that. Like, for example, if you would if you had like a position, like a high position in a government, or in even an organization, and you've been doing that for like 20 years, it's like at a certain point you get tired of it, and you're done with it. You don't want to do it. So this can make somebody just very go against any kind of authority, like anti-authoritarian kind of thing, and just kind of rebellious when it comes to the government and things like that. Especially if you have like Aquarius in here, like where you're Aquarius in the 5th house or something like that. So yeah, anyway, what is 5th house? 5th house is education. So with Rahu in the 5th house, or sorry, why do I keep saying that? Ketu in the 5th house, it kind of gives you this like feeling like you know everything, you mastered everything, and it's like almost like almost like you don't need that formal education. It's almost like you don't need that, and it's like once you learn how to actually teach yourself things, you can do things on your own. And, this can make somebody a lifelong learner. They can be very, very smart, very talented, very, gifted academically and like with smarts and high IQ, things like that. So yeah, it's this part about education. It can, like, someone with displacement, they can learn anything on their own. Like, they don't need to go through school, through they could just as easily read books on their own and research on the internet and do their own education by themselves and learn like 10 times more than they could ever learn in a school. Because this is like something that you've mastered in a previous life. So it's like you know how to teach yourself things. It's just a matter of absorbing the information, and then once you do that, it's like, oh yeah, you know how to do a certain thing. So yeah, I mean, Ketu in the fifth house, it gives a kind of an interesting personality too, because it's like this is your house of creative expression and your house of fun and playfulness and things like that. And you're like, yeah, I've already done that. I've already had my fun. I've already, sowed my wild oats and and done all this stuff. So it just doesn't interest you. So you're more about so your sense of personal fun is in terms of Rahu in the 11th house. So you, instead of having that personal fun, your personal fun is taking humanity to the next level. So this is what this is. It's like, you're like, yeah. I've done all this stuff before. I've had kids. I've had fun. I've learned a lot. Blah blah blah. However, it's like what you want to do now is basically give back to humanity. That's what your Rahu wants to do. He wants to be very humanitarian. He wants to make friends. He wants to learn about people because everybody is like individual. There's not gonna be another person like the people that you meet now in their own specific unique ways. Like, we are literally one of a kind. Our personalities are, the things that we bring to the world, to other people, and things like that. We're all one of a kind. And so I think Ketu in the fifth house kind of realizes that like everybody is so unique and special, and they want to, it's almost like this person wants to be in social circles. This person wants to be with Rahu in the 11th house. Go back and watch my video on Rahu in the 11th house if you haven't already. But yeah, this person wants to be like in these social circles and things like that. So and 11th house is giving back to society. It's humanitarianism. It's helping the less fortunate, things like that. And so Rahu, Ketu kind of loses its loses its sense of self, and it wants to, like, fifth house is a very personal house. It's like what you personally want, it's like your personal enjoyment and your fun. Ketu's like, yeah, I've had all the personal enjoyment and fun, and now in this life I'm here to give that to others. I'm here to help others. I'm here to give back to society and, make society a better place and things like that. So it's just this grander vision for everything. So that's Ketu in the 5th house and Rahu in the 11th. So again, if you haven't seen my video on Rahu in the 11th, I would highly recommend checking that out. And yeah, that's about it for today. Let me see how I am on time. Plenty of time on this video. Alright, so if you are new to my channel, I would highly recommend that you like and subscribe to this video. Like this video, subscribe to this channel. So yeah, I have a lot of things going on here. So one of the things that Ketu loves to do is meditate. So if you are not sure about your path and purpose in this life and what exactly you're supposed to be doing in this life, then I would highly recommend that you meditate. And I can't empty my mind for anything, so I love to do these kinds of meditations. This is Cosmic Qigong. This is self-transformation down here, and the Cosmic Qigong up here. This combines Kundalini Yoga, Qigong, and meditation, and the energy of the heart center. And this is Cosmic Qigong, which is a beginner's Qigong course. So those both are excellent courses to open up your meridians and bring your energy level to the next level. Alright, and it, helps your spiritual evolution and everything like that too. So then we have the Astrology certification course. So that basically takes you through everything that I do for a client in a typical reading. I teach you that. So I will teach you how to read a person's chart, how to go through it, step A through step Z, and how to precisely pinpoint the things within their chart that are like most helpful to them. And it's basically a self-paced video course, and it includes also a PDF guides. Like it has a PDF instruction manual, and it has astrology reading templates and things like that. So I basically give you your own business in a package, and it's like a turnkey business, and it's so easy. So the other thing about this is that when you actually go to take your test and you pass your test, your certification exam, I will give you your own website so you can become a certified Vedic astrologer and actually charge money for people for your services. So you can take that business and you can expand it to be your full-time job like I'm doing, or you can make it just a side income, side hustle, whatever. And then we have the Vedic astrology readings. So I have my standard reading that I do for everybody, which is incredibly helpful. And it includes your own mantra, your own ritual, your spiritual name, the planets and deities that want to work with you that you should be doing a mantra and ritual to, and things like that. And then it has a whole bunch of other stuff. So, and then we have the career readings where I focus especially on your D9 chart, or your career readings where I focus on your D10 chart, and your relationships or relationship readings where I focus on your D9 chart. Anyway, then we have the birth time rectification service. So if you are one of those people who doesn't know your birth time to the exact minute, then I would highly encourage you to get a birth time rectification. This is a process where I ask you a few simple questions and basically get you. I learn things about your chart and I adjust your chart to the exact proper time that it's supposed to be, that everything in your timeline lines up exactly. So it's a pretty neat process there that not a lot of astrologers can do. So that's something that I take pride in, that I can do a lot, do some very cool stuff with astrology, including like pinpointing people's birth times and stuff. So, and then we have the career coaching, life coaching. So the career coaching is great because a lot of people are very unsure what they're supposed to be doing in life, and they're just very kind of wandering around life without any aim or purpose. So this is not a good thing. So it's important that we actually take the time to understand what we're supposed to be doing in this life. Otherwise, we're just running around like chickens with our head cut off. So that's what the career coaching, that's what the career consultation does. And I walk you through a step-by-step process to get you to realize what you want to do for this life. Then we have the life coaching. So if you are one of those people who wants to take your life to the next level, if you want to really grow and expand yourself and become, really spiritually empowered, then I would encourage you to get the life coaching sessions that I offer. So, and then we have the ritual magic courses. So those are pretty cool. You can check them out at GeboTheShaman.com. And then we also have the emotional awareness courses that I am going to be making into like some shamanic journey courses. So those are all available at my Patreon here, patreon.com/GeboTheShaman. Alright, so that does it for me, guys. So if you're interested in anything that I have to offer, you can go to my website, GeboTheShaman.com, and check out all my bundle sales on all my courses, products, services, everything that I could ever offer you. Anything that you could ever want is there, so go check it out. Alright, so that does it for me, so we will talk to you next time. Peace.